In today's video, Azorius Burbs. Welcome back, ghouls and goblins. I hope you're having a magical day. Thank you all for taking the time to support the channel. I truly appreciate it. Of course, my name is Hello Good Game, and I'm pleased to be your host within this Magic the Gathering Arena Deck Guide video, breaking down our new deck list in depth, discussing both the strategies as well as synergies held within, in hopes of providing you a deeper understanding of how to pilot this deck effectively, right? So you can get the wins, and then you don't have to regret those wild card choices. Because if you just download the deck, you install it, there's, that's probably why you're unable to convert with it. I'm actually having a little bit of luck with this deck, which is crazy because I think, everyone kind of wrote birds off in the set. Within Bloomburrow, we have all these creature types, these new tribal decks, and birds really looked underwhelming. But at the end of the day, flying is just fantastic. So, have fun with that, opponent. We'll be breaking down, of course, that deck list for you all, and then moving in to our gameplay footage to demonstrate everything, really showing off those play lines against not only the best decks, but players in-game via our ranked gameplay footage. Of course, we'll conclude with our wrap-up thoughts, channel news, and deck review as well. And if you want to help out, right, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel for future videos, and dare I say, stop by the community Discord, say hello, introduce yourself. We'd love to have you. Links for everything in the description below. The Linktree link will have a lot of what you're looking for, and the deck list is down below as well. Kick back, relax, and let's take a look at the build.
It's a new lap record!
Oh, dokily. Here we are, flying high with our blue and white Azorius Burbs. Within Bloomburrow, standard, 23 lands, supporting a 1.9 average mana value. This thing is fast. 28 creatures. 9 non-creatures. Oh yeah, HGG? Cool. Let's talk about our removal. We have 3 copies of Elspeth Smite. Instant speed, 3 damage to attacking or blocking creature. If it would die, exile it instead. This is really good on the death triggers from the Heartfire Mouse, or whatever it's called, and the Cacophony. We hate the death triggers on that. With the fling effect, it's brutal. And Into the Flood Maw can actually help out in that aspect as well, just bouncing it back to their hand so they don't have a chance for it to die, which is cool. Instant speed for 1 creature to their hands. Of course, if we gift a fish that's tapped, we can bounce target non-land permanent, which is really, really good, right? We're talking about artifacts, enchantments, planeswalkers. Okay, so, that's our interaction within the deck. For the most part, we will utilize a Dazzling Denial for 2 at instant speed to counter target spell unless they pay 2. If we have a bird, they have to pay 4, which is substantial. They're not going to get around that, right? That's going to protect you from the Sunfalls. I wish it was more complicated than that, but it's not. We also, speaking of Sunfall protection, we should discuss the Aven Interrupter for 3, a 2/2 with flash and flying. When it enters exile target spell, it becomes plotted, and they can still cast that spell, but it will cost 2 more to cast. Just offsetting it for a turn, which is pretty decent for us within that Interrupter. And thanks to the evasion via flying, our damage output is quite high, and it won't take us, very many attack phases to win the game here, right? So, that's kind of coming down here. We have additional protection with the Escort. 2 mana, 2/1 with flash and flying. When it enters target creature you control will gain hexproof until the end of turn. So if there's single target, this is great. Non-targeted removal, the Interrupter is going to take that with priority. Now, of course, the Denial is pretty decent there as well, and will be prioritized really between everything. It just takes whatever. It depends on what your opponent's deck is, right? You're going to want to identify the build they're playing, so you can kind of forecast what threats they'll have that can really offset you. For example, it's an Azorius deck. They're playing control cards. Sunfall is in that deck. I need to prepare for it. Where's my Interrupter? Where's my Denial, right? Whereas if they're just playing a creature deck, then Denial gets, pushed towards creatures, as does the Interrupter at that point, right? So you really need to identify what deck your opponent's playing to best and most effectively play, a couple of these cards here, as discussed. Moving on. If anything dies, we have Jackdaw Savior, 3 mana, 3/1 with flying, and whenever it or another creature you control with flying dies, return another creature card with lesser mana value from your graveyard to the battlefield. This is absolutely fantastic. We can now, attack a little bit more recklessly. If they're going to have something die and we bring something back, it's not that bad, right? And we can kind of get away with it. The same thing with our blockers, potentially, right? So the Savior has been a pleasant surprise. 1 toughness is a bit of a bummer, but that 3 power certainly is nice to attack with, right? And we can actually mitigate that, right? So one of my favorite things in the deck will be the non-bird, the rabbit. It's a rabbit. You can give it flying. We're going to get to that in a second. 2 mana, 2/3. Whenever another bird or rabbit enters the battlefield, scry 1, right? So this is pretty good. It can help us, sift through our deck, finding the appropriate card for our next turn. And then other rabbits and birds get +1/+1 as well, which is really, really good considering our damage output is already quite consistent with the flying, right? And then that power, is going up as well as the toughness. Getting it to 2 toughness is better. It helps out quite a bit. And then, obviously this is non-legendary. We can play multiple copies of it. And Mockingbird can become, for X = 1, 2 mana, a Questcaller with flying that has the ability. So now you have 8 Questcallers in the deck. So that's pretty cool. And I think really the reason why this deck is performing so well, I'm going to be honest, I didn't think birds would be great, but not bad. And then, I mentioned giving it flying, which we can also do with the Salvation Swan for 4. It does have flash and flying as a 3/3. Whenever it or another bird you control enters, exile target creature you control without flying. That's the Questcaller. Return it to the battlefield under our control with a flying counter on it at the beginning of our next end step. Just getting it up in the air, which is pretty coolios. And, we do have 1 copy of the Windcrested, 5 mana, a little expensive, but I still like to experiment with it. A 4/5 with flying, and whenever 1 or more birds will deal combat damage to a player, choose 1. 1 or more, so this is only ever triggering once. Sad, sad times, unless you happen to have first strike or double strike. I would focus on that if I was focused on this card in the future. More on that as we wrap up with today's deck review. So, put a bird from your graveyard into the battlefield with a finality counter. Put a +1/+1 counter on each bird or draw a card. Pretty cool, right? That's quite a lot of value here within 1 card. A little expensive, but it's okay. And, we'll get there eventually. And maybe something that we focus more on into the future and try to make some treasures or something. But honestly, we don't even need it, which is good news. And then filling out the start of the deck, we have the Miner's Guidewing, 1 mana, 1/1, Flying Vigilance. When it dies, target creature explores. That can help push up the Savior, get the toughness up a little bit so it's not so easy to remove. But really it goes anywhere and it's just increasing our attack for the most part. I mean, yes, the toughness is cool too, but let's just win the game. And then the Harrier Strix for 1 mana as a 1/1 with flying will enter the battlefield and tap target permanent. This is great because, your opponent's not playing an influx of creatures with flying yet, until they see this video, or reach creatures. There might be 1 or 2 here or there. The Strix can tap it. Yes, and then you can attack through anyways. Also, you can draw and discard, which is great for 3, mid to late game, making sure that you do have the appropriate card for your following turn. So, I believe that's the deck. We've talked about our removal with the Smite. The Exile's great to stop any death damage, which is a big part of the game right now. Flood Maw as well, but has additional value through, the non-land permanents that it can send back as well. The fish we don't care about. You know why? Because it doesn't have flying, it doesn't have reach. Do not care. We are protecting from single target removal with the Escort, right? We can also use the Denial in that case as well as the Interrupter. However, Interrupter should be prioritized for non-targeted removal, whereas the Escort is prioritized for targeted removal. Denial, filling the void within everything, right? Can also just take creatures. And then, you know, early burbs that we're powering up with the 8 Questcallers, which we can give flying to as well. Graveyard recursion through the Savior, and then just, you know, our Lotto card through the Windcrest. To recap, okay, we will utilize the Anchorage, is also a flyer. The Village can surveil, which is good with the Savior. Put things into the grave to bring back. Uncountering ability with, is that a word? Caverns, and then consistent lands with our dual, the Coast and the, not the Anchorage, the Wastes, right? And then a few basic lands, because obviously those are required. Ta-da! That's the deck, and I'm actually having a lot of fun with it and winning some games, believe it or not. I truly did not expect it to perform this well, so maybe you can set me straight in the comments, be like, yo, no, HGG, you were right, this deck's dog shit, right? Thanks for supporting, watching the deck tech here. We'll get into the gameplay now. Kick back, relax, like, comment, subscribe, become a YouTube member, join the community Discord, and let's play some Magic. All right, on the draw, keeping 7. Fine. We have a 2-drop or a 1-drop. Probably just comboing in. Mono Erd. One of my favorite decks to play against. Nice, dude. You're not going to prowess. You're saving it. Wow. X equals 0. Confirm 0. Take the Scamp. Yeah. How do you like it now? Wow. Do you think they power it up? Oh my gosh. Who cares? I take it now before they put it to 3. Because if they have another one, then they could have pushed it higher. Right? From 3 to 4, and then I would not have gotten the removal. They draw 4, we still take a massive chunk of damage, which sucks. Well, that's pretty good, though. Pay 2, which will be enough, and then we'll have that as well. And we could also just play this. We have options. Let's confirm we get it, because this is going to be 2. This will be 3 to 5. I doubt they push it above 5. Maybe removal. But they need to do it now, if that's the plan. And they're tapped. Got him. We lose our bro, but whatever. We were going to lose it anyways. And they just sent it home. Oh, they didn't even take our bro. Mockingbird is there. Maybe we get a land and can double drop. Except for 2, 3 in hand after the draw. We're at 12. They are at 17. A 4th land, 2 in hand. Plot Adelphia time. Why bother at that point? You really are relying on a top deck. Okay. We're going to hold up our counterspell. Just smash. Right? We need to win. Not just, like, survive the next turn. Oh, good game. Did we just beat a mono red deck? Is that possible? I didn't know. Okay, on the draw. Just get used to it. I should have mulliganed, but... we'll find an island. It's there. Right on the top. See, I told you. This is going to get removed. But we'll see. Maybe they don't. Nice. I need a 1-drop white spell. Or just keep hammering home. That blue land is good. Let's bounce Glissa back. And then we can hit for 6. Substantial. Down to 11. If I get to untap, I'm going to London. Just don't play Shieldred. Alright? Deal? And also don't wipe the field. Fair? Alright, single target. And then they... Okay, that's fine. Some things are to be expected. Alright, that's not out of this world. Open our attack lane. Scry 1. Land goes. I'm full up. Take our hit to 7. Protection here. No, 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 no. We're going to plot that for them. Additional protection can definitely stay. Very nice. 2 2/1 flyers to play. Not only protecting ourselves, but also applying additional pressure. The scry's not terrible either. That can engineer our draw for next turn as well, which is quite good. Are we just beating the #1 deck in game right now? Yeah. With birds, the deck everybody discounted. I mean, even I do and am. If I'm being totally honest. I guess we'll just have lethal then. I'll take it. No, I'm so sorry. Hey, that's pretty good. 2 wins in a row? Whoa! Oh, almost on the play this time. Tap that land. You know it's something, so I don't really want to lose it. I'd rather hold. Wow, that's the worst thing I could have ever expected. But it's okay. I wanted to give them hexproof. Can't I be a gentleman about it? 3rd land off the top. For real. Okay, 3 Questcallers, in which I think we only have 3, but only 2 land, in which we have 22. No wonder kids can't like learn ratios. They grow up playing Magic and they think that this is appropriate. blame Magic. Just a 4th quest caller, even though you're running 3. It just makes sense. I mean, down to 9, we're doing it. 2 lands, let's go! It's a little absurd. And to draw lands now is, like, almost not good anymore, right? Like, we're too far gone. Unless there's a field wipe, and then I cry. And cry. And cry. Just more single target. Don't worry, I've got another. Oh my god. I've struck gold. Nice. Well, you deserve it, dude. Because I do not deserve this win and was going to get it. So good for you. You've done the thing. I was worried for you. Like, oh man. Nah. Did someone say they needed a land? Yes, I did. Some time ago now. Does that win the game? I have 1 toughness. Blocking does nothing. I told you that land would come right in time. Like pretty close though, right? So that's a good sign. And the crazy part is, like, we use Mockingbird to copy the quest caller, but unfortunately removal was just like bingo bango bongo for them, and we didn't even get a chance to do it. So if they stuttered at all, we would have had the win. That's a good sign that the deck can perform on such, like, terrible circumstance. Let's keep 7 going. I'm just gonna start telling myself that I'm going first, and they actually are cheating. Because then at least I can say I go first every second game. Have I gone first at all today? Man, I don't think so. I must have. I've won a few games today. I would have had to have gone first in those matches, right? Well, he's not wrong. You're a lizard, Larry. Why didn't they play anything? They really want to remove? I mean, I'm just going to counter their spell. I don't think the 1 extra damage is entirely worth it for us. No, 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 no! Patience pays. They just wiped the field. Oh, that's quite good. We need 3 up. What'd you get, Willis? A land? Nice. Thank you. And goodbye. Nice, nice, nice. No play? Oh, rude, dude. So this is a dead card. It can stop removal. It's not totally dead. Let's make sure we hold it up this turn. Valley's a go. Hit for 5. Hey, that's substantial, right? And lizards can enter, whatever, but your removal's gonna get blasted. No block. Flame Gecko's good. Can't touch it. I can... Touch is a weird word. I can interact with this. And that was the plan all along here. If it was another creature, though, since Cavern was already tapped, we could have done that. But removal's... Yeah, it's good. It's good. Let's keep 7. This is kind of a weird card to have, but... you know, I've got a turn 1 creature, which is great. Some interaction. And we'll just build to 5. Get some cool cards along the way. Really, the Shuffler's fine. Well, it keeps them from convoking. Right, so just get it dealt with now. Oh, did I forget to attack? No, I did. I'm in a trance. Pixie. It's always good. They're doing my job for me. Is it worth bouncing right now? Or just continue to play? I'm trying to use that mana as effectively as we can, right? Oh, maybe we just bounce the token? Ah. Gross. Probably, though, right? Land is nice. Bounce the token. Hit for 4. We didn't have anything enter, so that's a no-go. Another Inspector, which is good. You know, they can convoke at this point, which I hate. Bounce the Evangelist, right? Now that Convoke is gone. They can't recast it. Oh, they have another frontliner, though. Okay. And the Battle Cry doesn't trigger this turn or next turn. Well, we can Surveil with this because it's a 1-drop, right? Or do we just draw? Draw and discard. No. I'd rather look for a land. Okay. Down to 11. We're keeping pace, but, like, not in a good way. They have a full hand. And a full, you know, dang. Where are all my cards at? Just because we've been taking tempo on the Shuffler's dime. I get like, what is that? That's all 3 of them. That's all we have. We don't even run 4. Okay. There's the Knight, which we've been trying to push back this whole time, but just unable to really get to where we need to go in time, and we're dead next turn. Oh, yeah. Nice. All right, whenever one or more birds you control deal combat damage to a player, choose one. Put a bird creature from your graveyard to the battlefield with a counter on it. Put a +1/+1 counter on each you control or draw a card. Let's get after it. I think we go... Like this way. Oh, it triggers immediately. Never mind. Oh, it does them both. I thought we were going to get to trigger one and then the other. Oh, no. One was the explore, one was the counter. And it's one or more, so it's just one trigger always. Okay, never mind. I probably should have read the card. I thought we got 2 triggers. I was going to do the +1 counter and then bring the other back. Not that it would have mattered. We're still Dunkoed. Dunko-Delphiad? Absolutely. Flying high. All right. I'll give you that, HGG. Unexpected. I don't think anyone else has put out an Azorius Birds video. You are truly a legend. Where's the subscribe button? But no, for reals, how can we improve the deck? Because it's definitely not as bad as expected. A good, base for us to build upon. And, I wouldn't mind the 4 1-drops, right, alongside the Mockingbird. Obviously, the Questcaller Mockingbird's gas. But if we had, more 1-drops, we can really capitalize on this. Because who cares if it's a 1-mana 1/1 when it becomes, a 3/3, a 4/4. At that point, I just want as many as I possibly can. I have some cards to talk about. While building the deck, I always build a maybe board, right? These are just cards that I considered well building. Thrumming-Bird, pretty decent. We can proliferate, but maybe if we were more focused on the +1 counters, which we do have from the Windcrested, so, it's relative, it's there, but there's, a reason it didn't make the main deck at that same time, right? The Gold-Forged Thopteryx Lifelink is why I liked this. It's got flying, great. It's not a bird, but, we are really relying on the Questcaller Mockingbird, right? So if it's not a bird, it kind of sucks. But we liked the life gain, and we were thinking about it. This makes a bird. I guess that's relevant somehow. This includes birds in the untap, also gives them +1/+1, but I'm not sure that we have enough non-creature spells to be actively triggering it. We could give it itself flying as well. The flash is also pretty decent within the build, but that's kind of where it ends. Not a bird, but still has flying and flash. The Toymaker, whenever a bird or beast is cast, you may copy it, except it's an artifact in addition. Okay, that's cool, right? Maybe we make green and can play this somehow. I would like that, but so expensive is my problem. Then, Goose Mother, bird, Hydra, baby. It would work. It would work. Get lost. We told to get lost, and we're just using the 1 mana here. Then there's no death, and then not getting hit with the 5,000 damage that those things seem to provide. The Mystic could be cool to draw cards, right? That actually could go in the deck. A lot of these, saying why they're not in the build, this was cut last. I don't mind it. We could definitely run this. Not a bird, flying and has a pretty decent ability, can flicker stuff. The Mentor is A, a bird, and B, can kind of start to accumulate these +1 counters for us. Whenever it or another creature you control with flying enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control without flying. Again, we have to have some non-flyers in the deck here, which is, we just have them have it organically. We don't have too many non-flyers. Of course, this could be your Questcaller, and we fill the deck with it, but then we only really have 1 target for it. Right? Can you make that work? I don't know. The Patchwork can push up the team, provide additional mana so we can get into the Windcrest, but it's not a creature. And I like to attack. This does not attack. Maybe if you glyphed it, but that's kind of weird. The Twinning Twins would actually go in the deck quite nicely. The Swift Spiral basically is protection, right? You can also offset their attacks, right? And it's a 4/4. Not a bird, though. Not a bird, though. Dang it! Then, speaking of not a bird, though, we have the Agency Chief. Pretty cool. 5/5. You can sacrifice stuff for lifelink, vigilance, or hexproof, but it's not a burb. They must be burbs when we're focused on the Questcaller. And then the village, you know, I guess this could go in because burbs, but I don't like to sacrifice my land, you know? It just feels bad, but you could run it. I'm not because of Smite, I guess, if that's an excuse. You can run it if you want. I don't like the sacrifice lands. I much would rather one that just taps itself, right? Because A, sacrifice means it's one and done. B, you're slaughtering your mana base, which is probably not great. Specifically in an aggro/tempo deck where you want the games to end quickly, right? I don't know. That's kind of what I've got going on with the sideboard, though. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Of course, like the video to support all of this hard work. It is, honestly, every day an original deck that can beat these meta slaves. Holy, how does he do it? And of course, have an absolute magical day. Thank you so much. Do take care, and I'll see you soon in the next